The Yankee universe appears to be in a full-on, the sky is falling chicken little moment. Good afternoon, Evan. How are you today, kid?
I'm the opposite of that.
Yes, you are.
I am a pig in you-know-what. What a night. What a weekend for the little guy. So I'm doing great, Craig, and it's great to see you again.
Yeah, Mets 6 games
First
over
place.
500, 3.5 game lead in the East.
First place.
They big split against San Diego, but listen, we all know the focus right now. Everybody's got to get fired. Everybody sucks. The franchise is imploding, and what the F is wrong with the New York Yankees? Now, there's a smidge of that frankly is dead on accurate. Mm-hmm. They all suck. They all suck across the board. There's been some good pitching along the way, but essentially they all suck. And now the Yankees, despite the fact that Alex Rodriguez no longer plays for them, is on the very tip of what could be a major, major scandal. And that involves the question that we asked Aaron Boone on Friday, which all of a sudden, 2 days later, got legs. And other people now questioning what we first asked Aaron Boone on Friday. And that is Gerrit Cole doctoring the baseball? And it was a fair question because his spin rate changed. Well, listen, there's two parts to this, Evan. One, there's the Gerrit Cole story, which is now becoming a story. And I guess he's going to address it tomorrow before his start against Minnesota. But the other thing is nothing at all to do with Gerrit Cole. The Yankees are a mess. It's an unwatchable, boring mess.
You know, I keep thinking of Clint Capella because Clint Capella asked a question last week.
What you gonna do about it?
And, Craig, we could sit here and spend hours dissecting how awful this weekend was. We could. We could dissect the questionable managerial moves, the lack of hitting, the fact that Giancarlo couldn't play on Sunday, the fact that Giancarlo sucks, the fact that DJ LeMahieu is the softest single hitter walking America. But as we sit here today, what the hell are the Yankees going to do about it?
I don't know. I don't think there's an answer. Right? I mean, what's the answer?
So the answer is nothing. Is that what you're saying? The answer is the Twins. They're playing the Twins this week. They always beat the Twins, so there you go.
Yeah, but to be fair, they won 11 straight against the Red Sox. They hadn't been swept at home by the Red Sox in a decade.
Yeah, I am aware.
And what happened yesterday and over the course of the weekend? Same crap that's been happening all year long. Now, it's not going to get me down because life's too precious to get down about a boring baseball team that hasn't won a World Series in almost a decade now. That goes out there day after day with the same crap. It's the same crap.
So what are you going to do about it?
What are you going to do about it?
I'm serious. What is Aaron Boone going to do about it? What is Brian Cashman going to do about it? What is anybody going to do about it other than saying, I believe in these guys.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw them out there every day.
One day.
And I'm going to hope and pray. That's my strategy. Hope and pray that DJ LeMahieu remembers who the hell he is.
Yeah, he had another chance last night. 0 for 5.
Dude,
He's batting 250 now. Enough of the DJ LeMahieu. Wah, look. Get a big hit.
Dude.
We gave you $90 million to get a big hit.
He's the face
You
of
wonder
it.
why nobody else made you a contract offer other than Toronto for $30 million less? Because of this crap. Nobody believes in you. And that should be the rallying cry. Button it down, batten down the hatches. Nobody believes in you. And you know why? Because there's no reason to believe in you right now in the moment. And I recognize this is fleeting. When you go on a 10 out of 13 run, It's all great. When you lose 8 out of 10, it all sucks. There's no middle ground. And boo-hoo to you, you all make a lot of money. But something's got to change here.
So what do you want to do? You want to fire the manager?
I don't.
Why not?
But I'm getting closer.
Why not?
Because I don't think just firing the manager changes Stan's inability to play.
I agree with you. Okay, so let's state the obvious. We'll get it out of the way. It is not Aaron Boone's fault. Okay?
Although
we got that out of the way?
There's one caveat to that.
Go ahead.
I thought Aaron Boone got embarrassed yesterday.
Oh, because everybody on his coaching staff is going nuts Phil Nevin, who has an IV in him, is going nuts.
Yeah.
Marcus Timms is cursing out the world.
Yeah.
And Aaron Boone is going out politely to say, gee, I think you threw out the wrong guy there.
Now, I recognize Boone got kicked out a couple games prior to that.
Friday
and again,
night, after the game was out of reach, but still.
Again, bad balls and strikes. And no one's going to dispute the fact that the strike on Odor is a horrendous call. Should be bases loaded, et cetera. No one's going to dispute that.
Right.
I can't tell you exactly that's why they lost the game because I don't think it is. But when Phil Nevin's going bonkers, when Marcus Timms is going bonkers, you better be going bonkers.
Yeah,
and again,
that's a look more than reality.
I agree,
know that.
But it's a bad look.
No, I agree. That's a perception thing more than reality. And look, you're right. I'm not blaming Aaron Boone for the fact that this offense sucks. It's not his fault. Now, I can blame him for some of the decisions he made last night, how quickly he pulled Domingo Germán, and the fact that he let Litke stay in the game against hitters, to me, that he didn't match up well against, okay? That's manager stuff. But here's why you've got to consider firing the manager. And these two statements can be true. It's not Aaron Boone's fault, but you've got to do something.
Yeah, I agree.
And there is nobody walking through that door. I don't think Brian Cashman's going to succeed in going to Hal Steinbrenner's office saying, hey, Hal, I know the payroll's over $200 million. I need more money. Hal's going to say, excuse me, you need more money?
Yep.
Yeah, we need to go over the luxury tax, Hal. And Hal's going to say, we have spent over $200 million. You're in fourth place. The Rays are in first place. Explain to me again why I should give you more money.
Yeah, no, it's a good call.
That's a tough conversation to have. So, littered throughout baseball history, we have seen teams, for whatever reason, sparked by a managerial firing. Okay, I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's fair.
That's twofold to me.
Go ahead.
It's if you fire him, it also changes who's the guy you're bringing in.
You're probably promoting either Carlos Mendoza or
that
Phil
doesn't
Nevin.
work for me.
Why?
If you're going to fire Aaron Boone, and I'm not saying I would, then I got to go bring somebody else in. Because they're all part of the same thing.
Okay, I'm going to give you a specific example and tell me where I'm wrong. And you were here. You were doing mornings with Boomer Esiason.
Yes, I was, wasn't I? I was having a good time.
The New York Mets fired Willie Randolph.
Yes, they did.
Did it work? I think it did. They finished. Now, they choked at the end, I admit that.
Yeah.
But the Mets at the time of Willie's firing, as compared to what they did when Jerry Manuel was promoted, was it sparked the team. There's no denying that.
Yeah.
Jerry Manuel was simply a guy being promoted.
Well, he was also stabbing Willie in the back. Separate story, but okay. I'm with you.
But you get my point.
I do.
I get that people want to call up talk radio and name somebody that's sexy to them. Buck Showalter is sexy. It's not about that. And look, I'm not saying that firing Aaron Boone is the answer or it's even fair, because it's obviously not fair.
Yeah, because, right. What's Aaron Boone? Why is he responsible for Giancarlo Stanton?
He's not, but it goes back to the first thing I asked you, Craig. What are you going to do about it? And if there's no answer, then is that the right answer? Is the right answer saying, I got nothing, sorry, there's nothing you're going to do about it. I believe in the guys. I believe in the roster. I believe in the back of the baseball
It does get old,
card.
I have to say. It's already gotten old.
So, Craig, I'll ask it again.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do about it?
Well, I think maybe a team retreat in the woods in Warwick, where people do go missing. And listen, whenever Yankee goes missing, that's just the cost of having a team retreat. I don't know. Listen, when a guy won over 100 games his first 2 years, and forget about last year because of the COVID stuff, it's very hard for me to say, okay, they're 2 games over 500, mind you. They're not under 500. They're 2 games over 500. We're firing the guy. And I think we're on lockstep.
It's not fair. It's not fair to fire him. I get that.
Aaron Boone does not deserve to be fired. He's not incompetent at all, in my opinion.
Then what are you going to do about it?
And that's the problem. There's no other answer.
Well, that's the thing. I'm open to suggestions, and I mentioned earlier in the season, hey, try to spark them like 05. Call up Estevan Florial. Get younger. Try different things. They sort of have. They called up Chris Giddens. The guy can't buy a base hit.
Yep.
There's no trade out there, at least one that we can think of that's happening. And like I mentioned, I do think that ownership is going to say to Brian Cashman, we don't want to go over the luxury tax. We've given you enough money.
Yeah, plus they're losing money hand over fist right now still, too. I know no one should cry for them, but they are losing a... So, I mean, for some reason, the New York Mets are putting 30,000 people in the ballpark this week, and the New York Yankees have no plans to go over what was 18?
Right. Yeah.
Which, again, I don't get. That's
Makes
a
no
separate
sense.
story, but I agree. They're not going to say, listen, go spend your way out of it.
So
and
what-
who would you go buy anyway?
So what are you going to do?
I would go get whatever pine tar substance that Gerrit Cole was using at the start of this season. I make sure all my pitchers have it.
Yeah, but that's not the problem.
Oh.
The problem is DJ LeMahieu. I know Glaber had the big RBI double. Gary
Yeah.
Sanchez. The lineup stinks.
Now, be honest.
They're not scoring enough runs.
And if you're a Yankee fan, you got to be honest to this too. When Glaber gets the hit, and you're not sure at the moment because you didn't see the outfielder bobble it until the replay, of course, right? Is there any part of you, because there was for me, I'm not going to deny it, where you're like, Judge is going to get thrown out at the plate?
I did think that
That's
for a
how this
second.
thing comes to an end.
Yes. Well, mainly because the Yankees always make outs on the base path. So, yeah, when Glaber, and give Glaber credit, it's an 0-2 pitch. He rips into the left field corner. It was a monstrous hit for Glaber Torres that's going to be forgotten about because they obviously lost.
That was a clutch hit.
But, yeah, in my mind, and I'm sure many Yankee fans' minds, you're thinking, oh, I know how this story ends.
Yep. And then you even get the gift of the infield problem with the Red Sox.
Oh, the Tyler Wade little roller to
and
second.
now all of a sudden, here we go. The machine is up.
Dude.
Here comes the machine. He doesn't have a hit yet today, so you know he's going to get a hit here. I thought for sure, I really did. I don't know why. I thought the Yankees were going to win the game. I thought it twice. I thought at the bottom of the ninth. I thought it again, even though they gave up 2 in the top. I thought they were going to win the game.
I thought that.
I set myself up for. It's like when I am Lana Rhodes. I thought for sure I was going to be the father, but no, she doesn't return my text messages, and I'm not the father. Yeah, I thought the Yankees were going to win the game.
I didn't in the 10th.
Sucker that I am.
You're a sucker. In the 9th, I did. When Glaber got the hit, I did. But to me, I know Giancarlo's the guy everyone wants to get on, and I understand why. He's always
because
hurt.
he sucks.
No. The biggest issue with this team is DJ LeMahieu. Let's just call it like it is.
Well, because he plays every day. Right.
Well, he plays every day. He was the best player for this team 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to bring up the fact they paid him and they signed him to a 6-year deal. DJ LeMahieu is a soft singles hitter. That's all he is now. And that, to me, look, we can rip everybody because a lot of guys are underperforming. The face of these struggles is DJ LeMahieu. And call me a sucker, Craig. I bought what he did in 2019.
Well, you'd have your reason to. Let's be fair about it.
Okay.
We all got that one
So
wrong.
then what happened?
Because every one of us was saying, who makes the most sense? It was bringing back LeMahieu. So I'm not going to be mad. I'm not going to criticize myself. I was right.
Is that how you're going to go with it?
Yeah, I got that one right. You got it right. We all got it right.
Well, right
the
now-
problem is that LeMahieu gets it wrong.
Dude, he's the biggest problem.
And I'm
telling you right now, he's the biggest problem with this offense.
Yeah, well, it's hard for me to argue that because he plays every day.
Craig, if DJ LeMahieu, I swear to God, watching this team every day, if he had half the amount of big hits he's had the last 2 years, the Yankees would have about 6 or 7 more wins. I'm not joking. Last night is a perfect example.
Yeah.
If DJ LeMahieu is half the clutch player he was in 19 and for the weird season of 2020, this is a completely different season. He has been awful. All he does is hit ground balls to second base.
Well, that's Clint Frazier's job.
Listen, Clint Frazier is a different animal.
So they're competing for who hits the most middle infield ground balls.
But you know what?
Yeah.
Clint Frazier is still a guy who's an unknown. DJ LeMahieu needed to be the engine of this lineup.
I agree.
And it's malfunctioned.
But you know what the other thing is? They've become so predictable. Like, no joke, I was watching the games over the weekend, and on Saturday, I'm watching the game, and I go, Lucky, you want to see a strikeout? He goes, how do you do that, Dad? How do you know? Because there were 2 strikes on Stanton. He missed the shot to hit the fastball down the middle. You know the low outside slider's coming. Like, I know it, you know it, and he can't hit it.
Yeah.
I go, watch this. Strikeout. Bang, strikeout. Frazier gets something. You want to see a ground ball to short? I go, what? Bang, ground ball. It's like predictable. Yeah. It's crazy. And that's the worst thing about it. Boring and predictable. And that's sadly 60 games in, 102 to go. That's your New York Yankees. Now, the entire weekend was not lost just because the Yankees suck.
It was actually an incredible, majestic weekend,
Well,
Craig.
I want to give the Mets credit because, sometimes, we do live in a participation trophy kind of world. So I want to be sensitive to that because I don't like that world. But the New York Mets getting the split against San Diego is phenomenal.
Oh, absolutely.
Phenomenal.
Especially winning the last 2 games.
And you get a great job by Stroman, who's having a great season.
And how about his RBI double?
Yep, has the big double down the left field line. He's going crazy as he should, right? He doesn't get a lot of hits. And then, of course, DeGrom's just DeGrom. Like, there's not much you could say about the guy. What's interesting about DeGrom is that with all this stuff out there now about, Gerrit Cole coming from Josh Donaldson and just, frankly, baseball in itself, has this huge black eye coming its way.
Every pitcher whose spin rate is way down in their last start is getting looked at rather closely, whether it's Gerrit Cole or Trevor Bauer.
Yeah. So rightfully so.
Of course, yeah.
So every guy that has ever met Jacob DeGrom,
right,
like his babysitter, the nanny, the gardener, the pool boy, they all came out and said he's got clean fingers.
Well, because there's a video on the internet, which I had sent to me by numerous people, that I guess the accusation is Jacob had something in his pocket. So that video got out.
From the San Diego game?
From the San Diego game. And that caused Tomas Nido, James McCann, Marcus Stroman to say, hey, Jake does nothing. I think Nito's point was if Jacob DeGrom put stuff on the baseball, you wouldn't make contact. Okay?
Right. It'd be crazy. And a couple guys like, I'll give you my salary if he's using stuff. And then Stroman had the greatest line of all. And he sometimes says a lot of dopey things. He goes, and I'm paraphrasing it. Marcus Stroman said, here's the reality. You just have to understand. And here's a guy with an ERA of 2-point-something right now.
He's having a very good year, Marcus.
Who's slinging it, right?
Yes.
He goes, the reality of DeGrom is that he's just that much better than all of us.
He is.
And that's it.
And it's been that way for a few years, and now it's become so obvious, especially because of the velocity. He throws harder than everybody else in the league combined when you add up like 100 plus 1 mile per hour fastballs.
I do think the Yanks have a problem just based on their team. Gerrit Cole's got a problem on his hands. He's apparently going to address it tomorrow, which is also weird to me that they announced that he's going to address it.
Would you agree, Craig?
Here's why. If I said to you right now, are you taking voice steroids to make your performance better? Now, you would say to me, no.
Right.
You wouldn't say, I'll talk to you on Friday about it.
So what do you think he's going to say?
I think he's going to deny it.
No, I think he's going to admit with a denial involved.
Yeah, there's no way Gerrit Cole's coming out saying, I've been using something. He might say, I've done what every pitcher in baseball has always done.
Exactly.
Cold weather games, yes, I've had stuff on my fingers.
I think he's going to admit, I've used sticky stuff to get a better grip on the ball. I've never done it to improve my spin rate. It's always been about command and control. So I'm going to use less of it, but I never thought I viewed myself as cheating or doing it for any kind of advantage.
I'm looking forward to that.
I bet you that's what he said.
I don't know. I could see that. I could see a flat-out denial. Here's the weirdest part about it, though. Why wait? Why wait?
Because they're off today.
Why wait?
What do you want him to do? Call us up and just address it?
He was accused of it on Friday. I asked Aaron Boone about it. So I don't want to hear this crap that it only came up after the game Sunday in The Athletic.
No.
I asked Aaron Boone directly on Friday, and I only asked him about it because Major League Baseball made their announcement.
No, you asked him about
Goldstein guy.
Well, that's the
with
story.
The spin rate numbers.
That's where it starts. When you start to notice that pitchers' spin rates being affected, that leads to a follow-up.
Yep.
So that's where it starts. If Gerrit Cole, Craig's spin rate was exactly the same in his last start.
Nobody would say boo.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we bring it up in general, like, hey, in general terms, they're going to come down harder on the sticky stuff. But there was some evidence of, hey, something different's going on. But you know how Gerrit Cole can shut everybody up? Dominate. That's it.
Period. Stop.
Because if you dominate, then there's no further questions, Your Honor.
Listen, we'll get your calls. A lot of Yankees out of the gate. We'll get to the Mets, of course. We'll get to the Brooklyn Nets going for a 2-0 lead tonight. And we will get to the New York Islanders later today as well. Huge Game 5, tied at 2. Pivotal game of the series.
Matthew Barzal has shown up, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. Well, we'll get into that later. So
have you heard of him?
Yes, he's the captain and star of the New York Islanders.
I'm
well aware of him.
The captain of the New York
No,
Islanders.
not anymore. He's not because he's not playing.
He's starting to skate again.
In any event, we'll get to that a little bit later on. Dylan will join us again. We'll do the Islander breakdown. So don't think for a minute we're going to ignore it because we're not going to. It just won't be as much as you'd like. 877-337-6666. Carton and Roberts on the Fan. Live from the Town Fair Tire Studios, powered by Town Fair Tire. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Listen, this was a great weekend to go swimming. How many of you saw a chubby guy with a T-shirt on in the pool? It happens.
Let me just say this. I went to the pool yesterday, and I thought for a second, you know what? I've put on some weight. I'm going to keep the shirt on. I looked around. I saw so many guts hanging out. You know what I said, Craig? I'm taking my shirt off. As soon as I took my shirt off, within 30 seconds, a guy comes up to me and says, I listen to you and Craig every day. You guys are great. And I'm like, is he checking out my belly button?
Good thing you didn't have the T-shirt on, right? Because I would have gotten a call about that. Your partner's in the community pool with a T-shirt on. He claims Jet pushed him.